Rusty Quill presents The Magnus Protocol. Episode 52, Oversight.
Tell me anything, and I'll make it happen. Just tell me what you want. Yeah, look, I know people. Captain Barker, she'll listen to me. We can make a deal. Whatever you want.
I want your story, your fear.
I can get you fear. All the fear you could ever want. There's still something down there. There's still something down there. Panopticon. The Panopticon. Some of it's still down there. I can show you. I've been there. Beneath what's left of the old tower. Just let me live. You're him, right? The Archivist. All the dreamers say the same thing. You're him, and you're back to finish what you started. To get your revenge and give everything back to the nightmares. I used to be like you, okay? I kept it a domain before Towerfall. No one knows it, but I fed the darkness. And I could do it again. For you. I want to.
I have felt it. A splintered throat of stale fear and faded nightmares. Far below the silent city.
Yes. It's where we belong. I can lead you there.
You shall lead me.
Okay.
And I have drunk your story, and I know your mind.
What?
I will visit this place that festers in your memory, but not before I feed.
No.
Speak.
They say everyone is afraid of the dark. That it's one of those inbuilt survival things from birth. But that's nonsense. You're only born after spending months in a dark womb. The average person spends something like 45 minutes a day in the dark, behind their blinking eyes. Hell, we spend a third of our lives in the dark sleeping. So people think they're afraid of the dark, but they're not. It's the helplessness they're afraid of. It's knowing that there could be something there and you couldn't do anything about it. Might not even know if it was right beside you. So that means if you want to make people afraid, if you want to really get under their skin, what you want is them to know they're about to be helpless. You want that last moment of the sunset when you notice the figure watching you from the horizon. That quick dart of movement just as you turn off the light. That moment of silence just after you hear what's hunting you in the night. It's no wonder they would scream when I'd burst into their tent and beg them to turn out the light. I'd only get a glimpse of them before the darkness descended. Mostly it was hobbyists or company retreats. Once it was military. Never any kids though. 6 people, now 7, crammed into a tent without even enough space to sit up, let alone stretch out. They would all ask questions, but I'd just hush them into silence, just as the figure was outlined on the tent wall. That always shut them up. These people had no idea who I was, why I was there, what was going on, but it didn't matter, because right then, there was the shade of something they couldn't understand just on the other side of the canvas, and that meant they had already split the world into us inside and them outside. The moment would hang, the figure poised outside in the rain, unnaturally still and silent, and no one would move. No one would even breathe inside, and then it was gone. It didn't move off or duck away. It just simply wasn't there anymore. A trick of the light, or should I say the dark, nothing more. The tent's canvas would flutter as everyone began to breathe again. And then would come the questions. Who was I? What was that? What did it want? Why was it here? What was going on? And I'd give them the same answers as always. I don't know, but it's after us. One of them was a skeptic. One of them was always a skeptic. And it was almost always a man. He'd insist that this was just ridiculous. There's nothing to be afraid of. And the others would agree, but none of them ever suggested turning on the light and risking exposing themselves to them outside. Eventually, I would invite him to step outside and see for himself, since there was nothing to be afraid of. And he would hesitate. But then pride would win out, as it always does, and he'd step outside into the rain and the dark. They'd wait quietly for him to return. They'd be ready for him to scold them and mock them for their fears, but by this point, there was already a seed of doubt, and you could tell that part of them was waiting for something else. A scuffle, a thump, a cry in the dark. Instead, they'd get nothing but the rain. I warned him, I would say. I had told them, and they hadn't listened, but they'd be listening now. With one down and only 6 of us left, they had to. It didn't matter how I got there, who I was, and what I was doing. All that mattered was that whatever was outside stayed outside, and they would do anything to keep it that way. I'd normally start them off with taking an inventory. It was pointless, of course. All the gear was outside, and they were too terrified by this point to risk reaching out and grabbing it. But they needed a distraction, a moment to pretend it was all going to be okay. And I was happy to oblige them, since it only made the realization that they would have to go outside that much worse. Then, on cue, the figure would return. And this time they weren't alone. There'd be a moment of tiny, futile hope in the tent that maybe they were wrong. Maybe it was the skeptic back with help, but it would pass just as quickly. The figures would be stood a little closer this time, somehow a little more visible despite the deepening darkness, and it would be clear that whatever was stood outside wasn't one of us. Not anymore. And it wanted inside. But we all agreed that couldn't be allowed to happen, so someone else would have to go outside. But who? Often someone would suggest a lottery at this point, but that's easy enough to deal with. You just say how it's about survival, and you can't risk losing essential skills picking people at random, and they all jump at the chance to hide in a system. rationalizing grudges, shoring up alliances, and pushing prejudices, all to make sure that they aren't last on the list. Soon enough, they'd pick their victim, and inevitably it would be the quiet one that never really belonged. But everyone else would be satisfied. After all, it was done logically, objectively, impersonally. And we all agree it's for the best. It's only fair. Even in the dark, you can see the white of their bared teeth when they say it. So out would go the quiet one to find help, and everyone else would be feeling smug in their system. Until we hear something outside, even over the rain. A tiny movement, a small gasp, just enough to let you know there were only 5 of us left, and 3 of them outside. Often the next one facing the outside proposed to vote, or similar. Anything other than the system that's already damning them. There'd be a discussion, and if they were particularly persuasive, everyone would vote. Naturally, we all voted them out anyway, since none of us wanted to risk making enemies. The talker would try and get out of it, but they'd know it was too late. They'd been chosen twice over. They'd have to step outside. It's only fair. This time, when they step outside, there's no sound. But the tent moves, just that little bit more than the rain or wind could manage, just enough to remind you it's just canvas after all. When the 4 figures return, the air in the tent is running thick with fear. Each of the 4 of us inside has a counterpart waiting hungrily outside. And this is where things would turn ugly. The next one on the list is already expecting it. They know they can't hide in a system, can't talk their way out of it, can't convince the others to take their place. They spoke the loudest when we all agreed the list. They have to go. It can get quite vicious before the middleman's forced outside, but it's only fair. Things normally slow down after that. The 3 of us inside will be outnumbered by the 5 outsiders, and it's too risky to talk. So we all just sit in silence, listening to the drumming rhythm of rain on canvas and trying to watch one another. The next on the list tightly gripping the blade they've readied for this moment. You'd think it would be the same as before. 2 on 1, majority rule, but that's when I make sure to stay out of it. They both know they never would have made it this far without me. After all, I'm the one that warned them. This is between the 2 of them. The next on the list normally wins that fight. They were ready for it, whereas the leader was overconfident, expecting my help. Either way, we pushed the loser out together. It's the least I can do after they got rid of them. It's only fair. It takes a while for the 6 figures to reappear outside. Enough time for us to think about what happens next. 2 of us left inside, outnumbered 3 to 1. Neither of us wants to risk another fight. And if another one of us goes outside, the last one won't stand a chance. I remember there was one person who came over all noble, stepped outside on their own. No idea what happened to her. But for the rest of them, it's only a matter of time until they suggest we go outside together. Watch each other's back. After all, we've made it this far together. I pretend to think it over, but I already know it's the only way it could go. Besides, the truth is I was afraid to go out on my own. I knew what was waiting for me out there. We'd take some time to prepare, psych ourselves up. More time than we really needed, but finally, they'd step out first. I always made sure of that. And then I'd step out, and I'd have their back. Only I wouldn't. As soon as we were outside, I would run. Hard as I could, not looking back. Sometimes I'd hear a cry of betrayal over the hammering storm, but most of the time I'd hear nothing at all. But that didn't matter, because I knew they'd already been claimed by what was waiting for us. I always hated that bit. That mad dash in the darkness on my own. It was all I could do to keep running and keep my eyes focused on the next tent. That little triangle of light in the oppressive dark, and the shadows of the people moving inside, oblivious to what was following me to their door. I only looked back once, just as I got to the tent flap and readied myself to dive inside. I don't know what possessed me that time. There was nothing to see, but I sneaked a glance, just a glance. And when I did, there was a single stab of lightning down from the roiling sky, and for a moment I could see. There were tents dotted across rolling grasslands, disappearing into the horizon, and amongst them stood the figures. Thousands upon thousands of them watching me, perfectly still, waiting for the darkness to return. And I recognized them, every one. After all, I was the one who put them out there. Then the light failed, and the thunder came. And I dove inside the tent, begging for them to turn out the light. Turn out the light. Turn out the light.
It's only
Clear!
Alright, 1 second.
How'd I do?
Better.
Yeah?
Yeah. You managed to shoot down range this time.
So should I fetch the target, or...
No need.
Right.
I can see you missed from here.
Damn it!
And I think I can guess why.
Again.
No.
I want to try again.
I said no, Sam.
Just give me another clip.
Not a chance.
God damn it! Damn!
Feel better?
Piss off.
You're the one who begged me to teach you to shoot at 2 in the morning. So maybe rein it in, yeah? Look, you want to learn to shoot? Then pull your head out of your ass and talk about what's up. Then maybe we can get some more practice in. Or I can go to bed. Your call. Cool. See you later.
We're wasting time.
You think so?
The Archivist is out there right now. It killed Alice and it's still out there doing God knows what, and no one is doing anything about it.
And what do you want us to be doing?
Something. Anything. Alice is dead. She's dead because everyone was so busy worrying about whether the Archivist was your old mate, and now the zone is pulling me back in, and I'm afraid.
Of course you are. I would be too.
No, not for myself. I'm afraid that I'm going to get sent back before I get to put the Archivist in the fucking ground. And worse, it'll be straight back into the shit with the person who sent me here in the first place. So I'm sorry if you think I've got an attitude problem, but from where I'm standing, it's all of you who need to get a grip and step up.
I agree.
Well, what?
If this was back at my commune, we would have gone in hard from the start before it could find its feet.
Exactly.
But this isn't my commune. It's Georgie's operation, and she wanted to protect her people and play it safe. Maybe that was the wrong call, or maybe I would have gotten even more people killed. The stakes are higher here. It's one of the reasons I didn't stay.
So what? We just do nothing.
No. We train, we prepare, and we make sure next time we face this thing, we're ready for it.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting the whole vengeance won't bring you peace talk from you.
Depends on the vengeance. But either way, you're not going to make the shot if your hands are shaking.
Sure.
Too much anger will kill you. I've seen it happen.
Want to talk about it?
No.
It's funny. I'm not angry at Celia.
Really?
Yeah. I probably should be. She's the one that sent me into this mess, but... I don't know. It's just not there. I just want to understand why, you know?
You're a good person, Sam.
Thanks.
But you've got a weak grip and you flinch on every shot.
Then aren't I lucky you're teaching me to shoot?
Fine. One more clip, but then I'm done for the night. Right, you reload this time. And remember, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Hold fire! What the hell are you two doing down here in the middle of the night?
What's it look like I'm doing?
I've had wardens out looking for you. We thought you'd shifted into the zone again.
Well, I haven't.
Clearly. Is there a reason you're teaching him to shoot in the middle of the night?
Couldn't sleep.
We talked about this, Basira. You shouldn't be down here without a warden.
What, you don't trust me?
You know I do.
Just not as much as a warden.
I'm not doing this again. You had your chance to join.
Yeah, and I told you, I don't do cop shit anymore.
It's not cop shit. Someone needs to... You have to have a warden with you when you're down here. It's procedure. If only to keep track of how much ammo you're blowing through.
Yeah, well, that would be easier if they're only about. I thought you said you were halting patrols in the zone until we figure out what the plan is.
I did. Everyone's on the perimeter keeping the dreamers back.
What dreamers?
More and more people have been turning up, trying to get into the zone. Seems like it's not just more active, it's calling to them. And the stuff we've got locked in the vault.
What stuff?
I'll show you later.
Why didn't anyone tell me?
You were off brooding.
I wasn't brooding.
You were.
Whatever. So how does that affect us going after the Archivist?
Well, it means we don't have the numbers to try again in force.
Damn it!
But we'd basically already ruled that out.
What? Since when?
Since we lost 3 wardens and a civilian in the last attempt. We were lucky to get out of there alive, Sam.
But
So what is the current plan?
We're still figuring out logistics. I've been trying to arrange for backup from some of the other warden posts, but they're in the same boat.
Cool. Well, in that case, I'm sure you don't mind if me and Basira keep shooting, since there's nothing else going on.
Look, you've both made it pretty clear you don't like how I run things, but I'm not about to risk the... Just stay out of trouble, both of you. We'll move as soon as we can. For God's sake, I'm coming!
So how long do we wait for them to get their act together?
Long enough for you to learn how to shoot. Unless you fancy going in there and beating it to death with your bare hands.
Let's call that Plan B.
The Magnus Protocol is a podcast distributed by Rusty Quill and licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. The series is created by Jonathan Sims and Alexander J. Newall, and directed by Alexander J. Newall. This episode was written by Alexander J. Newall and edited with additional materials by Jonathan Sims, with vocal edits by Lorianne Davies, soundscaping by Tessa Vroom, and mastering by Catherine Rinella, with music by Sam Jones. It featured Shahan Hamza as Samama Khalid, Sasha Sienna as Georgie Barker, with additional voices from Beth Eyre. The Magnus Protocol is produced by April Sumner, with executive producers Alexander J. Newall, Dani McDonough, Linn C., and Samantha F. G. Hamilton, and associate producers Jordan L. Hawke, Taylor Michaels, Nicole Perlman, Cetius the Raven, and Megan Nice. To subscribe, explore exclusive extras, and enjoy early access ad-free episodes, visit members.rustyquill.com or join our Patreon. Rate and review us online, follow us on social media, or email us at mail@rustyquill.com. Thanks for listening.